Hi there, once again, this is Loy Machedo speaking to you from loymachedo.com and Loy Machedo TV. And today's book review is going to be A Whole New Mind by Daniel H. Pink. Now, just to give you a background, slight background. Now, I'm a trainer and coach. I meet up with many adults, especially business class, middle management, and senior. And I train children, especially youngsters. Now, my style of training is pretty controversial by itself because I'm not the typical pat on your back and make you feel good. Oh, you can do it. I'm the guy who bashes you up, smashes you up, and brings out the best in you. So, whenever I train children, the first question I ask them is, what do you want to be when you grow up? And children normally respond by giving the regular cliche answers like, I want to be a scientist, I want to be an accountant, I want to be a manager, I want to be, just the boring stuff that they give you. Very rarely do children come and tell me that I want to be a dancer, I want to be a singer. And whenever you get children who answer these questions or say that they want to be something creative, I literally see the parents laughing at themselves or giving that sarcastic look like, oh, been there, done that, kind of a, smile. So over here, what I've realized is it is not just these children and this generation. When I was young, in my younger days, my parents also wanted me to be, were excellent in studies, go to a good college, and then become a manager of some sorts. However, this didn't happen. I failed miserably in the academic world. I was a college dropout, and as you can see my appearance, I was doomed to failure. But the funny thing is, today I work 5 days a month, just 5 days, and I earn enough that supports me for a month. In fact, I earn more than some people earn in 3 months altogether. I earn in a single day. Now, how is that possible? Now, this is what Daniel H. Pink talks about. Well, he doesn't give you the tips and tricks of how to make money, but he definitely exposes you to a reality that we need to accept. Now, before I speak further, who is Daniel Pink? Daniel Pink is a famous American author who has authored 5 books related to business, work, and management. He is also most famously known because he worked as an aide to the Secretary of Labor, that is Robert Ritchie, from 1995 to 1997, and he was the chief speechwriter to Al Gore. Now, this is about the author. Now, what he has given in this book is predominantly that the brain by itself is divided into the left side and the right side. Now, the left side is sequential, logical, and analytical. The right side is intuitive, it is holistic, and it is non-linear. So what Daniel Goleman, Daniel Pink, what am I saying? Daniel Pink, Daniel Goleman, yeah. Daniel Goleman is a guy from emotional intelligence. So I don't want to mix up both. So what Daniel Pink actually says, he kind of supports the theory by Daniel Goleman, who was the author of Emotional Intelligence, and also the guy from Discover Your Strengths. His name is Marcus Buckingham and Donald O. Clifton. So he supports the theory of using the creative side of the brain and trying to find out actually who you actually are and what actually is your potential. Now, the Whole New Mind focuses on 6 essential aptitudes. The first one being design. It is like move beyond the function. For instance, if you have a look at the iMac was the only machine that came out that incorporated design into itself and made it so aesthetically pleasing that people just wanted to have the machine. Like I have an iMac for the very simple reason being it is a brand by itself. It is absolutely beautiful. The next one is story. Don't just move into products and services. Give a story behind it that kind of engages all the 6 senses. That is why whenever you buy a product, it is a story that lies behind it that kind of attaches you to it. Symphony. Don't go into the micro details, but go into the meta details, the larger picture. Empathy, going beyond logic and trying to connect. That also is one part of the right brain approach. Part number 5 is play. Enjoy what you do. Make it fun. Make it exciting. Otherwise, it becomes boring. He also supports the research by Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi. I think the second part of his name is pretty tough to pronounce. He's the author of Flow. You need to read that book if you have not read. And finally, meaning. The purpose of the journey. People are trying to find the actual meaning, the essence. He quotes Viktor Frankl, that is the guy who was meant to die in Auschwitz. That was the German concentration camp. And the book title was In Search of Meaning. I hope I got that right. Anyway, the the beauty of this book is also it includes a lot of hands-on experiences, and tips and tricks and recommendations and books to read, which I also found pretty exciting. And most importantly, Daniel Pink focuses on the 3 A's of the future of business. One is abundance. Today, consumers have a lot of options and choices. They're no longer limited to choosing one. Nobody's a monopoly. The second one is Asia. It is all the work that is the specialized work which used to be focused only on territories like US and UK. Now it's slowly moving towards India and China. And finally, automation, that is computers and robots have taken over the repetitive work. So abundance, Asia, and automation. Now, added to these points, he also gives the historical background of the 4 eras, that is agricultural, the industrial, the information, and lastly, the conceptual age. He also speaks on the dynamics of the left and right brain approach. And finally, he gives you why people who have the high touch and high concept approach will succeed much more than the ones who are logical and analytical. See, overall, I found this book to have a scientific basis and a logical argument to actually state its premise. Unlike the other books, which are just motivational nature, this one gives you groundbreaking realities through fMRI scans that have taken part both for the author as well as other other subjects. And finally, what I liked was the reference material that the author gave. I happened to book them immediately from Amazon.com, and I'll be purchasing them. So overall, if you ask me, this has been a really exciting read. I kind of enjoyed it. A lot of interest was there, and that is why I give this book a rating of 9 out of 10, say 8.5 or 9 out of 10. Mostly I'll give it an 8.5, just to be, because 9 is kind of too perfect. So I would highly recommend you buy this book. This is Daniel Pink, Whole New Brain. I really liked it, and I think you should also make sure that you get your hands on it. Thank you very much for watching. This is Loy Machedo from LoyMachedo.com and Loy Machedo TV, saying goodbye for now.